Hey, this is John from Alloy 211. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some Project Madsen light machine gun magazines I recently purchased from Apex Gun Parts during their Black Friday sale. Unfortunately, these are sold out at the moment, but I've seen them sold out in the past and come back again, so maybe they will have them in the future. In this video, we'll be taking a look at them, see what kind of quality you can expect from their Project magazines, and how to take them apart. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at two examples. I bought 8 magazines total because 4 for $9, $8.95. That's a really great deal. And for my purposes, I needed at least 6 magazines. So of the 8, I picked 2 that I felt were good examples of what you could expect. There is another group of magazines that I'll grab here in a moment that maybe are on the lower end of what you would want to expect. So let's go ahead and look at the more beat up of the 2. As you can see, finish is pretty well worn off. It's got a solid dent here. Bottom looks pretty good. Fair amount of rust. Functions. If you didn't know Madsen magazines, this holds the follower down. So it's actually, for my purposes, one of the reasons why I wanted these magazines, which we'll see in a minute. So that's what you can expect on the outside of one of the rough magazines. We'll go ahead and take it apart. So I'll show you how to take a Madsen magazine apart. And grab this punch. You have a little spring-loaded tab here. You pull out. Then you push the follower or the floor plate down. And then when you push it down, you can push this tab in the back forward. Well, if you did it right, there you go. Oh, well, I just did it wrong. But down. Okay. Wow, that just looks ridiculously bad. Down, and then push your tab in. There you go. There we go. Don't worry, I'll do it again on the cleaner magazine. Ow. Oh God, there we go. On this magazine, where it had that bit of a dent in it, it got caught. I don't think I've actually taken this one apart yet. Go ahead and push our little spring out too. It looks like the follower is actually caught. I think we can. There we go. There we go. Now we've got the follower, which is a 2-piece follower, if you didn't know. It's got a little flat spring in there. And your floor plate. Now if you look, this is pretty gross and grimy, but it's actually not too corroded. And the same, let me grab a light here. Oop. Same kind of goes for down in there. Dirty, very dirty, but not really very corroded. And that's on one of the lesser of the 2 magazines. It's a nice amount of noise over there. So, from this pretty bent up, kind of dirty one, still functional. Pretty clean. Let's go ahead and pull this much cleaner one apart. If you look, this actually looks very nice. Go ahead and pull this one apart. Hopefully we can do this one a little more gracefully. Again, pull out this spring-loaded tab, push the floor plate down, push it down till you can get the tab out of the back. There you go, tab's out of the back. Spring and follower. As I said, this one is in a lot better shape. You know, compare this to the much grimier one. I would actually call this almost good condition, not excellent. Excellent condition would be like new, but the internals of it do kind of look almost like new. And the outside, although a little scratched up, it doesn't have any dents in it. Speaking of dents, well, you have one like this. It's got a pretty solid dent here, but that can be taken out, and I've actually taken this one apart, and that doesn't really affect it that much. So there's another one. Here's another one that I consider pretty good. It's got a bit of a dent here at the bottom. Still seems functional. And before we get too much further, I will get into one of the ones that is not in that great a shape. Well, actually, it's in really good shape, but it's covered with just a bit of cosmoline, and that's going to take a lot to clean that off. So out of the 8 magazines that I purchased, 4 of them look essentially like this. Good shape, not very beat up. And 2 of them look more like this. Let's see, those 2. I guess this one's a little this one's kind of an in-between those, and it's got a really solid dent right there that's going to need to be fixed. But then 2 of them are cosmolined up like that. So if you do see them for sale again, expect that you're probably going to have 2 of them that are almost useless until you clean them, and 6 of them that are pretty useful. So let's go ahead and move those off to the side and put this one back together so I can show you the purpose as to why I bought them. Go together really simply. Just push this down until you can get that tab back in the back, and then just push it forward. Push on the floor plate there when it's there we go. Now it's in place. And now the reason why I bought these Madsen light machine gun magazines, to everyone's disappointment, probably because I didn't actually buy a Madsen light machine gun or anything. I don't have that, don't have the need for it, and don't have the money for it, honestly. But what I do have is a K98K. And I had a big box of loose pack 8mm. And I needed some way to be able to transport those to and from the range easily. Now granted, put it all in stripper clips and have a couple of these, but then I have to buy a bunch of these, and these are expensive, and stripper clips are expensive. 4 for $8, these were cheap. And even if you were to buy the good condition ones that I have for sale for $12 each, that's still not that bad. So I think actually cost wise it's still probably cheaper than this. So in order to have something to take my 8mm Mauser to the range, I bought these magazines. So that way I could just pull that back, push it down, push it down, push it down. What else do I have here? And not only, there we go. Not only do they work for 8mm Mauser, but you can use 7.5 French. Drop that. If you've got a bunch of that, or 7.62 by 51, 308. If you have some of that, you need to put it in something. Or 30-06, you can put 30-06 in there as well. You could even take and put 7.62 by 39 in there if you wanted. And those ones, you can get twice as many in there. See? You could even do 223s. Oh, they start to get to a little more finicky when you start doing the doubles. There we go. You even do 223s if you wanted. What you can't do 7.62 by 54 rimmed. They don't fit. So 8mm Mauser works great. And one of the other things I like about these for taking your ammunition to the range is they really, well, oh, I jammed it. There we go. Can really dump out the rounds as you like. Now granted, whoa, there we go. Maybe dump all your rounds out if you don't like. But like I said, it does give me a way. Grab these bullets before they rolled off the edge of the table. It does give me a way to take this many 8mm Mausers to the range without having to put them all in stripper clips or to just try to find enough packaging for a big handful of 8mm Mausers. I can just put them in here, plop it in my range bag and go. So if you see these Madsen 8mm 30-06 or 7mm Mauser, I think is they're listed, Project magazines for sale at Apex Gun Parts, and you need a way to store and move your 8mm Mauser, I think this is a really good way to do it. Also, even though this is after Christmas, I did want to say I really appreciated the Set Me clause that Apex Gun Parts sent along with the magazines. So If you liked this video, if you found it informative, and if you enjoyed some of my other videos, I'd appreciate if you subscribed, and I'd appreciate a like. Thanks, and have a wonderful new year.